speaking of things that are plus, let's talk about the new Manga Plus series, starting with Heart Gear. This series comes to us by Tsuyoshi Takaki, who is the creator of Black Torch, a shonen jump manga that you can read off the Shonen Jump app surfaced from Viz. It's a shorter series, but I have read what's available on Viz's site and quite enjoyed it. It's a fun story about like this demon cat creature and these demon hunters. And yeah, it's really nice. And Heart Gear, though, is a very different kind of story, though the same like action beats and elements are definitely of this author's nature and how they like to depict their action scenes. But the premise of the series is that it's set 200 years after World War III has wiped out most of humanity, leaving behind only a devastated world full of ruined civilizations. And we follow Lou, who is like a human girl. Who's just, an ordinary girl who's like very upbeat and chipper and full of life, even though they're living this post-apocalyptic wasteland and all they have to eat is apples. But, she makes apple pie. She makes the most of it. And she lives with this droid called Zet, who's kind of like Baymax from Big Hero 6. He loves to gaze at the stars, but he loves living life with Lou even more. One day, while they're like exploring like an abandoned factory, Lou discovers Chrome, who is a 5th generation experimental droid who at first kind of looks like a refrigerator with this eyeball-like camera and big mecha arms. And apparently, Chrome is missing his base program, his raison d'etre, because a base program decides how a droid will live, the very existence themselves. So without it, he basically has no goal in life and, as Zet puts it, no soul. But he can convert biofuel, so at least he can eat apples. But anyways, throughout the first chapter, Chrome is kind of wondering, what is his reason for living? What does he live for? What does he love? And he slowly grows to admire the zest to which Lou lives her life and becomes very happy living life alongside her and Zet. But unfortunately, in this world, there exist renegade droids called insane units who have AI who haven't been maintained or repaired, and so they go berserk. And unfortunately, one day, a Korean droid comes and discovers Zet and Lou, and Zet is murdered while Lou escapes and tries to get Chrome. And, as the insane unit is attacking them, Chrome kind of reflects on what he's living for, who he's living for, and he decides that his goal in life is going to be to protect Lou. And so he gets shot through the eye by the insane unit, but then he erupts from it as this beachy cyborg dude. And he is all badass and dressed in a black costume. And he fights back against the insane unit droid and destroys it. And then afterwards, Lou is all sad that, Zet is dead. And I love how they say the color page for that moment where Lou is just crying, mourning Zet. But then Chrome thinks of an idea, because the core unit of Zet has not been destroyed, so all his AI, memory, personality data, that's all been preserved. So now Lou and Chrome are going on an adventure to find a compatible body for Zet to restore him. And that is the premise of the series.
So this was pretty good, at least I thought.
Yes, I thought. It had a good emotional core and very interesting characters. I am very disappointed that they changed Chrome's design to become this super stereotypically hot cyborg dude. I thought the refrigerator body was way more charming, but nevertheless, I think that it's a good premise. I think that the world is interesting. And I think that the action scenes, this author, this mangaka, is really good at depicting them, and there's some great panels in here, and the action really pops, like literally, they love to have action pop out of the panels, and it really makes everything look super striking. And yeah, mechanical design's also really good, and I think that they draw inspiration from very fun places. Like, I can't imagine that Zed wasn't inspired by Byakuya 6, but also the insane unit that murders him is definitely reminiscent of the soldier characters in Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. It looked exactly like those, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they draw inspiration from a really cool place to create this very cool post-apocalyptic world full of insane mechanical robots. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how the story will develop.
No, yeah, I thought this entire chapter was, if this were an anime, this would be a really good, like, first episode. Like, it feels like it sets up what the rest of the series is going to be, like, really well. Like, now we have a goal, and now we have a reason to kind of, like, explore more of the world. And, yeah, I haven't read Black Torch, so this was my first time reading anything from Takaki in particular, so... You know, I had no expectations about, like, the art or anything, but no, yeah, I thought the action was really well drawn. Like you said, it really pops out of the page. I really love the first 2 pages before Chrome is attacked and he's protecting Lou, where, like, all the panels on the page are, like, they're all, like, in the shape of Chrome, like, Chrome, is basically, like, you know, like trying to, like, process everything and is, like, trying to figure out, like, what he should do, like, trying to make a split-second decision, you know, before this renegade droid attacks Lou. And I love how the page is structured in the shape of Chrome's body, and how on the next page, like, it all starts to kind of, like, come apart and discombobulate, like, all over the page until it leads up to him in that 2-page spread, you know, being broken apart through the center where his eye is. Like, I really love the structure and the layout of those pages in particular. I thought those were really striking.
Oh yeah, that's a brilliant composition to depict the existential crisis Chrome is going through, and then kind of the breakdown of, like, the way he's thinking of himself, and then, you know, that'll leading up to him literally exploding out of his shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's really awesome.
I haven't talked about it on the podcast at all because it just hasn't been super relevant, but like, in my spare time, I've been reading Yokohama Shopping Log. Ever since I started reading that, I think I realized that I have a soft spot for stories about, like, just humans and robots just hanging out and developing relationships with each other. That's kind of a big part of that series. So I think I just like those kinds of stories in general. So in general, like, I really enjoyed seeing Lou just hanging out with her robot friends. You know, it made for a nice section of the chapter. Just them just kind of hanging out, doing whatever, having picnics and stuff, until it was all taken away from her, and it made me very sad, and I was not expecting that color page of her crying, because, man, that really broke my heart. Really nice colors on that page, like, I could just look at that all day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's safe to say that, like, I think this is going to be another thing we're both reading weekly, right?
Well, bi-weekly in
yeah.
this case, since this comes out every other Tuesday. But yes, I am definitely looking forward to keeping up with this series and seeing where this story is going, what the adventure of Lou and Chrome will lead to, and when they will find a nice compatible body for Zet, and what that'll look like. And also what other dangers they'll find in this world.
Yeah, this definitely, like, gets my recommendation. I really enjoyed the hell out of this.